When I was born, I cried, and the world rejoiced. Live your life so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice.
Hi. So I like words a lot. I use words a lot as well. And it's been a really intense, beautifully intense experience here. And I write for me to make sense of what happened and for me to make sense of my experiences with people. And I'm hoping to share this with you, and maybe some parts of it will resonate with you as well. Today was a day I thought, okay, now it's all going to come together. I'm going to start writing. And I woke up and I wanted to start write, and I just sat there, and the only thing I could come up with was, your hair is green. And that's all. And every time I said it, I just giggled, and I just couldn't go further. And then until new friends that I met here found me, and I found my voice again, my words. So here goes. At the edge of the first row is a shy, tall, lanky guy. He follows us around with few words and a beautiful smile. He asked me if we drink mate in Beirut's hackerspace. I quickly said no and went back to listening to a bipolar girl singing her heart out to songs only she knew, and perhaps a few others too. Okay, I was the only one who didn't know any of her songs, but she made the cells in my body just forget their functioning. My IP was high on her energy. The other day, I met a polymath, slowly revealing mind-blowing things he'd done, like a magician pulling out fantastic wonders out of his hat. He doesn't know it yet, but he's the first person here to make my eyes dance out of their sockets with delight when he said, "It's okay to keep that child alive." He drew me open handcuffs, taken flight, the moment after I had put myself in the spotlight for the first time after a speech on a call to arms. And I was ready to run out of here, hide in the woods nearby for a little while until the camp was over. But he caught me at the entrance and said, "Your inspiration has legs. It will move forward." Now, I don't know if that's true, but I let myself believe it for a little while. I'm gonna believe it for a little while, postpone hiding in the woods for a little while. In the evening, all those words from debates on crypto cats and copyrights are carried away by the raging wind, and all that's left is just people giggling like children under starlit skies. But soon they'll go back to talking about that device that can pick up conversations from a crowd using microphones hung in a circle all around from a distance. And you might be listening in. And if you are, read my lips. There are people in this room, tent room, who live on a dime just to make the world less worse than it was yesterday. Their hair is red and blue and green, and they walk around with purple flags, and you might not be comfortable looking at rainbows, but there's something, they wait for that moment when something's lit up in other people's eyes. That kind of light that only shines when people finally get to do what they love. Now you can call me, or you don't have to label me a hacker, and I don't have to label you a technologist. And this space doesn't just have to be for a few of us. That polymath told me that I am you and you are me, so it must apply to all of us. This morning, I woke up to a gifted mete marmalade. It was handmade by that shy, tall, lanky guy with a beautiful smile. When he asked me about mete in Beirut, I didn't ask back. And he didn't get to tell me that he created a new product for mete, and I won't get to tell him that it was delicious, especially with peanut butter and toast. Thank you.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that poetry session. And it's our focus today. We're trying to speak on the aspect of what do you do when pressure is under you to either give up on a dream, give up on a goal, give up on something that you really like doing. And it is a real struggle sometimes because it's never a smooth sail, especially when you're trying to pursue something that you feel this is what you were meant to do. And it is an experience that I have had before because when you look at my journey, it wasn't always a smooth sail from where I am right now because in terms of art and poetry that I do, I started writing years back. That was about like when I cleared high school. That's when I had interest in music. So I used to do freestyle music for like 2 years because I wasn't able to get a record deal. Then I went on to poetry and spoken word, where I used to do stage performances, and it was a good experience because it gave me an exposure of the versatility of the industry in terms of not just music, but you can actually diversify your gift and talent. And that took about like 2 years down the line. That's when I was able to do like my first song. And it also opened my eyes to see the whole aspect of what it entails to actually do a song and do it professionally. So it was a phase of growth, and thereon I went to focus more on poetry and spoken word, which has given me more exposure in terms of performances that I did, interactions with people. I was able to know what it entails to be good at in the industry and also to be effective in terms of if you have a plan or if you have a target in terms of what the content that you have. So it was a good experience. Now you can look at, I started from high school, like, and then I went to the first phase, which was 2 years, and then another 2 years. That's when I did my first song. That was like, now you see, it's 4 years. And then there were another 2 years of doing poetry, which has helped me even to actually work on a channel like you're watching right now. And you can also undergo circumstances where you're frustrated. Like, for example, when I'm doing videos, sometimes it can be challenging because either there are noises outside or your brother just tries to mess up the video, like the next clip. Focusing on doing things in a different way this year. And we're actually in the month of February. Sean, you popping your head. So I would say if you're looking at something that you really like doing, you have to factor in that there will be challenges along the way, because I face challenges. There are times where I felt like, do I really need to do this? Is this really what I was meant to do? Because you either don't have access to opportunities, or where you don't have access in terms of performances. Like especially right now during COVID, artists and people who do performances have really felt a hit because you can't do performances, you can't hold like functions because of the COVID protocols, and it can be frustrating, especially if you are relying on that in terms of either generating income, or it was an avenue for you to show off your gift. So it is an experience where you can be frustrated to give up for real, but you have to focus on the aspect of the goal that you have, and the dream that you have has to be more attractive and more appealing to you than the aspect of throwing in the towel or saying, is this really what I need to do? Because if you start looking at that side, then your participation in terms of improving and perfecting and developing your gift will reduce. That means that your output also will reduce. But if you look at it as, okay, this is just a hurdle, then you will look at ways of how to diversify your gift, or how to approach life in a different way, so that your growth increases and what you love to do has an avenue to grow even in a bigger scope. Furthermore, it is better to try and fail than to assume that you cannot succeed and never know. So there is always that aspect that I like focusing on, that try and let it fail instead of just saying under the circumstances I cannot be able to approach this situation or approach this issue, or I cannot do anything about it. Just try. And that aspect of keeping on trying and putting one step forward each day, it will actually accumulate into something that is good, because Rome wasn't built in a day. It was a brick after a brick. So keep on building, keep on pursuing, despite the challenges. Look at them as just hurdles that you have to go over in order to reach your target and reach your goal. You will focus on what you like doing. It might not be artistry or a talent or something that needs a stage, but it could be you enjoy raising your children. So sometimes it can be discouraging and disappointing, especially when they don't want to listen to you or they're rebellious. But you have to look at the aspect of who they will become, and that brings value in terms of what you're doing, and you keep on keeping on. It might be a career where you're facing challenges in terms of either people don't appreciate what you put on the table, or there is no value in terms of what you're offering, but you have to look at what can I do to add value to what I have and who I am, and so that I can see progress in terms of my career, in terms of my goal. Whether it's a business, what can I do that is something that is of an edge in comparison to other businesses, so that can make me to stand out and make my business grow. So it's the whole aspect of looking at what you encounter as a challenge or circumstances that may pressure you to give up or to draw back in terms of pursuit of your goals. And you can either give up or look at it as an hurdle, or that encourages you to think outside the box and what you can do in order to succeed. So I hope that video gave you tips and insights in terms of pursuit of your goals, so that you will keep on keeping on. And I hope to see you in the next one.